Just rocking with J Man is with the cast from Frenzy Moon. So how you guys doing?
Hi. Yeah, how are you doing? Great.
Doing pretty well.
It's good.
So
So
we're up in the Buffalo area this time.
yeah,
Sometimes they're spread out.
I mean the Buffalo area, it's a little it's a little spread out, yeah. Fuck. All right, so for those just hearing about it, how would you describe Frenzy Moon in one sentence?
Easy. Um, Six college students and one hunter spend a terrifying night battling a pack of werewolves in a remote cabin.
What inspired the story? Was there maybe a particular event that maybe sparked the concept?
Well, I don't just make movies, I write books too. I've written 12 novels, and three of them were werewolf novels with Frenzy in the title. Frenzy Moon is not directly related to any of those, but I wanted to make a werewolf movie, and those stories were just too big. They would have cost way too much money. I could never have done it. So the idea was to do a cabin in the woods movie that took some of those ideas and made them easier to do.
Now, you're known for practical effects and gritty genre filmmaking. How does Frenzy Moon fit into your body of work?
Well, werewolves are a form of body horror. I think in a lot of ways, this is a much more conventional film than my other ones. I mean, it's a pretty basic setup where you have people going into a cabin and monsters attack them, but it is practical effects and it's got some really strong lighting and camera work, I think, and a fantastic cast. There's really good performances in this film.
What were the biggest creative challenges making this film?
Getting it done in the amount of time that we had, because it's a dramatic film. It's a siege film, sort of like John Carpenter's Assault on Precinct 13. There's seven people in a cabin who all have different conflicts and drama between them, and that means longer dialogue scenes that you might normally have. So we had to have seven actors on their game, delivering sometimes 9 pages of dialogue, and we only had started off with 13 days. It ended up being 15 days to shoot it, but practical special effects take a long time. They take a long time to set up, and then they don't work or they break, and you've got to stop and wait while the effects guys go fix them. And very challenging to do this film in that amount of time. And the other thing that ate up a lot of our time was doing the fog effects outside because we shot mostly in October and the wind was stronger than it was in September. So we had all these fog machines going, and in the middle of a shot, the wind would change direction. So we ended up doing a lot of takes, not for the performances or for the effects, but for the fog.
Now, did the project evolve during production or did it stay close to your original vision?
I would say it stayed as close to the script as it could, other than making adjustments for the special effects. Some of the action scenes had the choreography had to be a lot simpler than what I wanted to do, just because the effects were not able to function in very elaborate sequences.
Is there a particular scene that you're most proud of?
Yeah, there's a scene about two-thirds of the way into the script, which is reminiscent of the scene in The Thing, where Kurt Russell tests all the scientists to see who might be the thing. Only we have a lot more characters than that, and it's a long, intense scene with really good acting.
What do you hope fans take away from Frenzy Moon?
I just want him to say it was a good monster movie, a fun monster movie. It's not a radical film. It's not a game changer. It's just 80 minutes of enjoyment, I hope, for people who like monsters.
So, question for the cast. What drew each of you to your roles in Frenzy Moon?
Well, for me, I'd never really for me this was my first feature. And I'd never really done anything that was horror based. And what also drew me to the movie was just the fact that it's been a while since I've seen things being done practically with all the practical effects, and it did sort of transport me back into sort of like the way I grew up watching some of these, films in the 80s with all these different sort of practical effects. And it felt really cool to be on a set like that where I could experience it firsthand. And yeah, I also just had a lot of fun with the story. Um, and yeah, it was great for me.
Not
When I
to
contacted you, you had no idea who I was, right?
Right.
It must have been bizarre to have someone reach out to you like that. And I didn't even audition you because I saw you in a play. So I just
You're
offered
right.
parts. Same thing with Harry.
You're
You must
what
have thought I was a lunatic.
right. Right.
Now,
Uh,
how
huh?
did director Lamberson describe the tone or world of the film when you first came on board?
Let's see. I don't know. Harry, do you want to take this one?
uh let me go back to the Facebook messages just because I know Greg and I don't have that long of a Facebook chat, so I'm pretty sure it's still pretty fresh and new in there. Um, maybe not. Maybe Facebook deleted those because of the new security policies on that app. But yeah, no, if memory serves me right, Greg reached out to me because Alyssa recommended me through my headshot and so on and so forth. And the tone, I just got I when I heard when I already knew it was a werewolf film prior, because Alyssa kind of gave me a breakdown for it. So I kind of knew already, like, okay, this is a horror genre. I knowing Buffalo in terms of how much horror that tends to happen, I wasn't really sure what to expect in terms of, is it gonna be heavy drama? Is it gonna be a little more comedic? What was the what was it? And it didn't happen until we did our rehearsals with the full cast, where I got the general idea of like, okay, this is more drama focused in terms of how we went about it. And mind you, like when we did two full rehearsals, um, or 2 days of rehearsing those scenes, and the way that we rehearsed it didn't actually translate well into the actual scene when we filmed certain moments. We like the tone at rehearsal was a little more lighter, a little more fun, but when we came down to actually filming it, it turned into a more like intense scene in terms of how we approached a lot of that stuff.
What was the most challenging part of bringing your character to life?
Uh, for me, uh, there's a pretty sort of big dichotomy in terms of how the character is from the beginning of the film toward and compared towards the end. And I think finding those moments in which you sort of have to, make him grow uh, into, whatever happens later in the film. Uh, it could be very difficult just because you have to know when to pick your moments and you have to have sort of that distinct idea of how my character is.
What?
So,
Okay, go. Sorry.
oh yeah, yeah. Originally, my character, as Greg put it, he's not a good person. He was not supposed to be a good person at all whatsoever. The best way to describe him, he was out of the six college students, the biggest asshole. Uh, and after when watched at the premiere, I couldn't not hate myself in a weird way. Like not because it's me. Like I could hate my character on a camera pretty well, but it was one of the reviewers, I think it was 411, that put it in a good way. It's like there's a certain charm about my acting, I guess, that kind of made it hard. And I really did my best to really imply that like Don Dante was not that great of a person. I really did my best to really imply it, but I don't think it sold us all on camera as in terms of being that asshole or whatever. And
Oh,
it still kind of worked in the end of the day. And Greg never really told me to
I,
change anything, so I'm not. I hope I hope he's happy with my performance. But
I hated you.
yeah,
I hate Dante. Don't
I
worry, I
definitely
hated him.
remember Alyssa yelling at you once, so she
yeah,
she hated you in the moment.
yeah.
How would you describe the film's atmosphere while shooting?
That's a really good question.
Leave it to you, boy.
Um, um, I think, like how Harriet put it, we rehearsal was very light. It was sort of like, you never really know until you get there,
Yeah.
like how things are, especially because now, time is money and you've got to like really do this. Um, And so it's for me, um, it felt very much almost I would say similar to how it is for me like in theater during what we call Tech Week, where we're rehearsing vigorously, trying to make sure that the performance is perfect. Except in this case, we don't. Our Tech Week is the performance, and we're doing all these takes, and we're trying to make sure that you know the scenes that we're doing are good and polished, and trying to make sure that we're doing as many things as we can. I mean, I think. I think Greg, you allowed us to like if we had time, you allowed us to maybe do a different take or something maybe a different direction in terms of how we wanted to do a specific scene. But yeah, it was very much like where we were on the ground, we had to know what we were doing, everyone had to know what we were doing, and I think we were able to do that pretty well. Once we got the ball rolling, everybody was where they needed to be and were doing what the things that they needed to do.
Did you have
That
to?
tech
Okay,
was very
sorry.
good.
So, did you have to approach the emotional or psychological aspects of the role in any unique way?
Ooh.
You want
Yeah, I could take
yes,
a stab at it. So, um, as I mentioned, Dante is supposed to be just a general asshole. So, like, I really had to like bring that out a lot more than I'm usually comfortable with in terms of just my day-to-day person. And Dante goes through like a roller coaster of emotions of like kind of being a cocky prick to a person who's in denial to just absolute fear and a few other factors. And like I think the hardest scene I had to show emotionally was fear because I remember we had to do that take at least I think three or four times where I had to show more fear in my face because I'm like that's not emotion that I'm used to showing. So like so I had to like really bring myself to that right space mentally to just really bring it in and like kind of truly just be the character in terms of like, all right, forget the acting, forget everything else. You are Dante in this moment. How would he react to everything that has just happened? And just properly just and develop myself into the scene in terms of what is happening and the the bullshit that's happening around you in terms of like, yeah, no, this is a guy who doesn't believe in werewolves. It's just a bear. It's only everything that's happened. It was just a weird scrawny bear, not werewolves, and I had to like really bring that out.
Yeah, I mean, and for me, in relation to that, the difficulty, came in when, with the difference between film and theater. In theater, once we rehearse, once we're in it, we're in it. Like you make a mistake, you just keep going, you keep acting. Whereas, film, you have a lot more options to do more takes, and some things have to be done in a particular way for the angle, for the angles, for the lighting, for the sound, and you have to be in be in the mindset of the character while you may have like five people around you sort of holding a boom or the camera in front of your face and you have to be still in it. And then like Vega pointed out, we had like a lot of fog, for example, and that may inform sometimes how you're feeling and in terms of the character. And you have to do a lot of, clever tricks just to stay in it while you're sort of in this world. Yeah.
How does Frenzy Moon stand out from any other indie horror or thriller films out there right now?
Well, I don't I don't watch that many indie horror films unless they're submitted to my film festival. I've been doing that for 15 years. So unless I know the people, I'm not really aware of what's out there. But from what I see, I mean, horror in general these days has gone in a different direction with Sinister and The Conjuring and Annabelle and these types of films. This is definitely, even though I didn't want it to feel like a 70s or 80s movie, it's definitely more like a 70s or 80s movie. It embraces these goofy practical special effects. Um, It is a cabin in the woods movie. I don't think there's any other ones like that out right now, even though that's a standard trope.
What was the biggest surprise for each of you during production?
I'll go first. For me, the first surprise was day one of shooting when the effects guys brought out the werewolf and it wasn't ready yet. I would prefer not to have seen it in that state. And all I could do was turn my back on it and not pay attention while we did other things.
Yeah. Well, for me, I would say, yeah, I really do think what did shock me is how quickly I think when you're working with people for that long and during that time period, uh, that you can sort of just get into the rhythm of things. It felt like I was just like this was my job, like on a day-to-day basis. I didn't feel like I was, really doing I didn't feel like this was a short period of time where I would be working on this project. It felt like I was supposed to continue doing this like next the month after, the week after, whatever it is. And yeah, so it was really cool to see how everyone got into the rhythm of things. And yeah, I don't think I've quite experienced it like that um for any other films that I've ever been on. But yeah.
For me, it was being treated as an actor on a film set. So like Frenzy Moon was probably I think my fifth feature that year. I think if memory serves me right. And a lot of the features I've done are like small little indie stuff, like just not it's a very small crew. The actors are also helping and assisting with crew or lighting or sound or something. So I'm so used to wearing like 15 hats on a film set, in terms of and as well as acting at times. And um Frenzy Moon was the first one where like, okay, yeah, we got to move this stuff or move these tables or something, just get out of the shot so we can get this one thing. And like immediately my brain went to, okay, I'm gonna go help out. And I remember Greg put his hand on my shoulder, like, nope, go relax, go sit, go memorize your lines. I was like, oh, oh, okay, this feels wrong, but okay. And it was just a completely different experience that was also it was a completely different experience in a good way because I guess it was the first time as an actor where I'm like, oh, I can actually focus on just the one job. Granted, I still sneaked out and did a few things over here and that helped the PAs because I know it's rough to be a PA at times, but um, it was just one of those things which felt very nice in terms of like, yeah, I can actually focus on being the actor this one time. And during the one of the days where I didn't have to worry about it as much, I, assisted where I could because, it can be kind of rough being just a production assistant on a film set at times. So,
What kind of impact do you hope this film has on fans?
Because I crowd this
Okay.
movie, I mean, I've been talking about it a long time, and I just want to make sure that the people who like werewolf films, particular people who loved American Werewolf in London and The Howling and Dog Soldiers, that those people enjoy this film. I'm not looking to change anyone's life. I just want them to sit there and watch this movie and say, "Oh yeah, that was pretty cool. I like that gore. I like that one actor. Oh, she was really good. That was a good fight scene. There was a lot more action in this film than I expected."
If you could just describe the experience of making Frenzy Moon in one word, what would it be?
Fellas,
Uh,
honestly, I'm gonna say fun. Like I genuinely had a really fun time. Between the interaction with all the cast members, the crew, um, and as Steven put it, like it kind of just felt like our job at that point. They were really long days, at times. Like I know some of the filming kind of went on to about 14, 16 hours at times. Um, and with me being Steve's and Alyssa's rides homes, I usually have to be on set a little bit longer as well, just to make sure I get them home safely. But like, I generally had a really fun time. Like, I enjoyed every aspect of it, and even during the really intense scenes where you had to like emotionally bring yourself to like those really rough moments, like you still had that time breathing room to like get back into a normal headspace. And like at the end of the day, like I had such a great time with it, and it was like one of those things that will be a very fond memory of mine going forward in the future.
Yeah, I have to agree. For me, it would be invigorating, tied to his Harold's last point was the other point, which was that it felt really good to be an actor on set and seeing it work, seeing set to set work in a very professional manner and being able to really get a good idea of what this looks like, uh, getting a good template where now if I ever do anything in the future, like this is my baseline in terms of figuring out what uh, I want to do. Because for I might want to make a movie myself, and now I have a very good sort of idea of all the challenges that come with it, as well as all the fun things that I learned. So yeah, I feel very invigorated. I feel very really strong. I feel great that I was able to do something like this.
Which cast member is most likely to survive a real life version of this film, and who would die in the first 5 minutes?
Hey, Kayla gets the first shot.
Yeah. I think Kayla would survive immediately.
I would probably
If
die
I'm
first. I'm gonna throw myself under that bus. I'm
uh,
I'm okay. I'm a bit of a daredevil, and there are times where I'm like, that doesn't seem too dangerous, and I'll just go to it, and like I'll walk out unscathed. But there's been plenty of times where I'm like, how did I walk out of that unscathed? So yeah, I would probably die first. I know
Got the
me.
long legs though. You could run fast.
That is true. I can run fast, and I could push Alyssa down.
that's how you win. That's
Yeah.
how.
Even I don't think you're long for that world.
No, for me, I probably just would have not gone. Uh, everyone would have been like, "We're going to the cabin in the woods." I would have been like, I think I'll stay put right here. You guys have fun though."
On a scale from 1 to 10, how wild did things get behind the scenes?
Oh,
Um,
hmm.
Not wild at all. It was very professional the whole time. Everyone was
Yeah,
there to create and work together, and there was no drinking on set. There was no fights on set. No calamities. The weather even cooperated for the most part, other than the wind blowing the fog around.
yeah. I don't remember anything that was particularly wild. Yeah, like I said, it was like very much like I was just going there every day, working, doing my thing, doing my job, and yeah, I don't really. I just remember sort of going there, acting, everyone in between, scenes talking to each other, and then you go on and do the next thing, and then you go home. There wasn't anything that was crazy, and I think that was one of the highlights. Just the fact that everyone was very respectful and everyone would talk to each other and communicate. And, we all sat and ate a lunch and dinner together, where there was no like super separation between, oh, these are the people that work in production and these are the actors. Don't look at them, don't glance at them. Everyone was very harmonious.
Like I know Steve, Jake, and I definitely got a little rowdy on occasion during like when they're setting up in between scenes. But the moment that Greg's like, "All right, time to get to work," we shut up, sat down, or got ready for the scene, and
Hmm.
we're essentially ready. Like there's a few times I remember like yeah we got a little bit loud, a little rowdy, but like when it came time to filming, we were just switch off, switch on for actor mode, and we were ready to go.
Was kind of crazy when Adam Burke walked through the woods to get to his car and ran into a coyote.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, but see, they were just one of the actors. That was one of the other actors. Uh, one of the extras.
What's the strangest prop you insisted on keeping after filming?
I don't think you guys had the opportunity to keep any props. We would
Oh,
collect those right away.
If I did, I wouldn't tell you.
Maybe the seats at the screening.
Oh, yes. Yes. I have. There's a lot of blood in this film. and my character encounters a lot of blood. Therefore, I had spares of a lot of different items of clothing, one of them being shoes, which I did not have to use, fortunately. So I actually have them. As Greg put it, he gave it to me, one of the screenings. Um, yeah, I don't think I never, like you said, I don't think I ever got a chance to grab anything.
I still have like part of my costume. I know one of the flannels I wore was just covered in blood and just was not gonna wear it again. As well as one of my undershirts as well. But I still have a couple of the flannels for the spares for like in case we needed to swap it out for another take on yeah, for when I was got covered in blood and such. And ironically enough, I've used that flannel a few times for a couple commercials because the casting director was like, "I like that look. We're gonna use that one." I was like, "All right, I guess I'm wearing Dante's outfit all over again." Same as
Dante
that.
for the win.
Yeah, same exact look, like denim jacket, uh, the blue, white flannel, and dark jeans. It's just been a very classic look for a lot of like background work in a couple of Great American Family Hallmark movies and a commercial I did for something health. I can't some health hospital thing. I can't remember what it was, but yeah,
And you all had a say in choosing your wardrobe because we all ordered
That's
it
correct.
together. So you all got
yes.
to pick that
Mhm.
look.
That is correct. Yeah, no, that's actually, yeah, it's a very unusual thing. I don't think that's really ever happened. A production of this scale where they sit, most of the time they sit you down, they're like, this is what you're wearing, give me your measurements, and you don't really have any say, which was kind of nice given the fact that you could communicate sort of whatever your idea of the character was, and then you
Yeah.
would discuss and then formulate an outfit, and that would sort of inform the character and would help you as an actor uh, for your performance.
Yeah, I purposely chose long sleeves in the jacket because I knew since we were filming in October, it's going to get cold. So I purposely chose layers so I would stay warm even when we went outside for filming. Or I can hide stuff underneath so I would stay warm.
Steven, you actually have probably the one crazy story of the whole production, and that was during pre-production when we did the head cast of you.
Oh God.
Yeah, so yeah, we they had to make a head cast of me. And so I went, it was normally when you get, these casts, you wear like a bald cap of some kind just to protect your hair. But I was informed, like, oh, no, we have this new mixture, that we like to get like sort of the texture of the hair, and it'll be fine. You don't need a bald cap. And I was like, oh, okay. It's like technology. Woo, I'm all for it. But yeah, so they started putting the head cast in. It's a very surreal experience because you kind of have to be pretty calm, in the fact that they're literally covering you layer by layer by layer by layer. And it's the point where you can't really see anything and you're just sitting in darkness. I don't even know how long it took. Was it like an hour, maybe? I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Claustrophobia
felt
would
like
kick in for me so quickly.
yeah, you just gotta find your inner peace. But yeah, so it starts getting to, I don't know what number layer there were, like fifth layer or whatever it was. And they poke holes in it so you can breathe. Um, and now they have to start getting rid of it. And it wasn't, they started to sort of dismantle it, and the bottom half was coming off easier. And then we start getting to the hair, and it would not, it wouldn't let go. It just would not let go. And so they're like, oh no, maybe it just needs a little push, maybe just a little more pull. And then they started pulling out my hair. Bits and pieces of my hair were getting yanked out. And eventually, yeah, it was long story short, they managed to pull it off, but it took a good chunk of my hair, and I had a very interesting hairdo.
But not quite. They didn't really pull it off. My wife
Yeah,
Tamar had to
well,
fly in
that's true.
to a haircut.
And cut it. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, once they realized, like, oh no, like they're actually gonna yank off my entire scalp.
It's a good thing you couldn't
So,
see all the expressions in that room as everyone kind of looked at each other.
yeah, Yeah, I ended up having to I think go get a haircut within like yeah, within about 24 hours because I actually had a play that I was doing during that time. Luckily, fortunately for me, my character in that play was wearing a hat, so no one really could see anything. But yeah, so I spent time growing my hair back for produ time for production. But yeah, that was a very fun story. And now I know I don't care what mixture you have. I'm getting a bald cap for my hair.
Were you having second thoughts at that point?
It's one of those things of where it already happened. Like I'm already in it. It's done. Because now it would feel like I've wasted my time if it's like sort of sunken cost fallacy where
Right.
I'm like, I'm already here. I might as well just keep going. But yeah, I'm glad that I did. I'm glad that I did.
If you could bring any movie monster to cameo in Frenzy Moon, who would it be?
Wow. Um, I guess one of the howling werewolves.
Yeah. Mm, I don't even know. There's so many to pick from. Honestly, I don't even know if this counts as a mod. I would put Annabelle somewhere in the woods.
Okay.
Just just sitting in the woods, like a post-credit scene. Suddenly somehow you figure out this is like in the Annabelle universe. I don't know. It would be pretty funny.
I I think I'm just going to go with a basic Deadite from Evil Dead, just because that's the first thing when I think of when I hear Cabin in the Woods, and like Evil Dead is like my bread and butter when it comes down to my favorite horror movies in terms of practical effects and
Yeah.
just the randomness that happens and the craziness such in that film.
And our werewolf point of view shots have that Evil Dead quality too.
Yes.
That's
Mm.
pretty good. Very good, Harry. Not a movie made 5 years ago. Excellent.
It was either that or Creature from Black Lagoon, but we didn't have any like water spots nearby, so it made no
Let's be
sense.
glad.
If your character had a dream job outside the movie's events, what would it be?
Uh, well, yeah, my character is a nurse in training, so I would imagine he's very analytical. Um, so, but also I think when we were talking about, especially when we were talking about the outfits and how Clinton is, uh, he likes to dress in a particular way, so maybe he would have been some sort of designer of some kind. Uh, Oh, I don't know whether it would be from like a technical standpoint or clothing or whatever it is, but I feel like he would have been some sort of designer.
I think Dante probably would have been happy with like a town or state defense attorney. Like, like Dante's was a is a law student, and like the background we kind of gave him was like he comes from money. This is the guy who worries for naught. He drives a brand new Jeep, and essentially his life's already like planned out for him, and that's why he's such a pompous prick.
The screenplay really laid it out what their dream jobs would be. Most of
Yeah,
them. We don't know what Michaela's character would be.
no.
If you guys were on death row, what would your final meal be and why?
Wow. That's quite the
Like
question.
my personal meal or Dante's personal meal.
Everybody's meal.
For me, I mean, I'm a very simple man. The meal that I like pizza a lot. Because you can like pretty much make it into anything. Just depending on the toppings. So like for me, it would be some kind of pizza. Probably go with like over reliable like pepperoni or something. Um, just because like I think that for me that tastes like home. Uh, as far as Clinton, mm, I feel like he'd want like some sort of like Michelin star. I feel like to me, Clinton feels like a foodie to me. So I
Yeah,
feel like he would have something like from a Michelin star restaurant, like some some special oyster caviar thing just to be like, what is this? Oh, this is like sort of thing. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, it would probably be something like really high tier.
I think my personal choice would be probably a stir fry with rice. Um, but Dante's he comes off as a surf and turf guy. Like he's the type of person who would go for like a sirloin steak with some lobster, top on it with I don't know, mashed potatoes and broccoli or something like that. Like someone like this is a fancy meal, or what he believes is a fancier meal because that's the most expensive item on the menu.
Mm.
Puerto Rican beef stew, which is cooked in red wine, served over white rice.
Mhm.
Wow, that is hyper specific.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right. Thank you guys so much for being on my show. Where can I watch the movie at?
VOD. It's Amazon Prime, Fandango, Apple TV. It's all those usual platforms in that first few months before it works its way towards Tubi.
All right. Thank you guys so much again. It's been my pleasure.
Of
No,
course.
thank you for
Thank you.
having us.
Thank you. Good seeing you guys.
See ya.
Bye bye.